So I got this question on my Goodwill thrift vlog from Becky Ray. She is asking me, why are all resellers so weird? Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sonia. I'm a reseller. I have made a living off of other people's junk. I have no idea why people would call me weird. No clue. Who? Me? Weird? What the heck are you talking about, Becky? All right, so I don't know if that was truly a question from Becky or if it was more of a statement. So I thought for fun, let's go ahead for real life and actually cover why are resellers so weird? Do you think they're weird? What do you think it is that makes them weird? I should also add that in this video, while I'm chit-chatting with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and unpack some of the thrift finds that I found today. So I did do a vlog out thrifting. It was actually, I logged into my channel to upload my video when I saw Becky's comment. So I thought, you know what? This would be a fun topic to talk on. But as I am talking, you guys can watch me unwrap some of the awesome cozy finds that I found today. I thought they were very fall-like and they're going to make a great addition to the store. And then I'll catch you up at the end as well. So I sat down and compiled a list of what I think maybe the top reasons are that kind of lend itself to this perception, and I think it could be based on a couple factors. So these are some reasons why people might perceive vintage resellers in this way. Number one, I definitely think that vintage resellers often have a very deep passion for specific eras, styles, or types of items that might seem unusual to somebody else who does not share those interests. So, you know what? We are all different, and that's what's really cool because when you're running a reseller business, it's really good that you stand out and you have your own niche. And what you end up finding is that there are a ton of other people in this world who are just like you as well. So lean into it. Number two, I definitely think that this perception comes from eccentric personal style. So in some cases, resellers may adopt fashion or aesthetics from different eras that contribute to that impression of weirdness for those who are, let's just say, more accustomed to contemporary styles. Like me in my home, it's an 1800s home, it's Tudor style. I shared with you guys that the real estate agent was like, well, you know, it's kind of outdated, it's not painted white. And we're like, no, don't paint the walls white. So to each their own, but sometimes people just, it's hard to see, like, to understand why somebody would not like what you like, right? Number three, unique business practices. How about this one? The ways that vintage items are sourced, priced, and sold can be very different from how new goods nowadays are retailed. So, for example, the importance is placed on the story behind each item, how rare it is, if it's handmade, like these right here. These are embroidery style. You guys know that I get really excited when I find cross stitch. I used to do it for a period of time in my life. I know how much work goes into it. And when I find it, I know that it's one of a kind and somebody literally poured their heart into it. So, and even when you find things that have flaws into it, right, to somebody else, it might seem weird that you want something that, I don't know, has some crazing or some crackle or some distressed effect. That just goes with what you love in your specific niche that maybe somebody else, you know, doesn't like. I definitely think number four, like any other culture, the vintage reselling community has its own sets of, you know, how we speak, the norms, the lingo, and the behaviors that might seem peculiar to somebody else. So the idea of let's go junkin', you know, let's go thrifting, you know, they don't maybe sometimes even understand what we're saying or how excited we get because we're just not in that particular hobby or passion. Number five, sentimental value. Vintage resellers may assign emotional or historical value to items that other people see as simply old or used. And this can make their valuation of items seem so strange to those who really just don't care about it, right? They just don't get it. But maybe if you collect things that are in a special time period, you get a little more excited when you find something that is from that time period. And nowadays in the modern world, somebody might not get excited because they don't even know, you know, how excited you are about the chances of finding that particular thing. So again, it's just really, it's a very personal thing. Thrifting is very personal. And that's why I think as well that vintage sellers, resellers, we all have our different niches. And that's what's going to make you stand out. So number 7, vintage resellers often prioritize sustainability, craftsmanship, and uniqueness over mass produce. I mean, I will pick up things that are cute and are trendy, but it's not because I go looking for them. They just fall within my realm of what it is that I know that I like. So I like an eclectic bunch of stuff. It makes it makes your storefront very different, one of a kind. It makes your home one of a kind. So these types of values might seem odd to somebody who's really focused on newness or current fashion, right? Number 8, curation versus retail kind of goes into what I was saying. Vintage reselling is often very much like a curation. You're putting things together. You're pulling things together. Sometimes I look into my cart and I say to you guys, I see a theme going on here. Do you see what it is? My cozy finds. So selecting items that fit a particular vision or a theme, that's a big thing for resellers because maybe they're thinking about the future, their aesthetic of their online Etsy store or their online store or their physical store. But it's very different because it's a very personal pick, and it's when you're finding the stock that comes from these thrift places, you can never find, if you find two, like I always say, that's a miracle that they never got separated, right? But the level of personal involvement in the stock can differ from the more conventional retail that we know today. So again, we might seem a little peculiar, but we get excited because we find stuff and things and it just fits. Number 9, digital persona. So that means that, it's very profitable to be in reselling right now because, well, for so many reasons. Maybe I'll cover that in a different vlog, but you can find so many places to sell it. So if you are in the digital world, you can have an Etsy, you can have an Amazon, you can have what's the Michael's new, handmade marketplace that they're doing. There's so many different places and platforms. You can sell on Instagram and Etsy, TikTok, whatever you want to do. But a lot of times to be seen as such an oversaturated environment, I do believe that resellers have to stand out because it's so saturated. So how do you do that? Maybe you bring on screen with you, a colorful background. Maybe you wear, I don't know, whatever it is, you kind of adopt whatever it is that you love, and next thing you know, you're wearing it. Maybe you love vintage bangles and you show up online with all kinds of colorful vintage bangles on your arm, or oversized, glasses, because you love that and you love that world and that niche and everything else that goes with it. So I definitely think that vintage resellers sometimes will adopt a quirky or just really super stylized persona so that they can stand out online. And really catch people's attention. Which number 10, attention to detail. The care given to describe the history, the flaws, and the very specific things related to each vintage item might seem as obsessive to some that are just not involved in the vintage world. But when you appreciate, I always say that it's amazing how things nowadays are just not made like they used to be. And sometimes I'll hold up some pieces and go, wow, look at the work on here. Look at the roses and how they were applied by hand. They just don't make it like they used to. It's beautiful, right? And so to somebody else, they just might not get it because, you're just not involved in that world, right? But it's important to mention that not everyone finds vintage resellers weird. Tell me if you below what your thoughts are on that. For me, I don't mind. I joke and I say, and this is part of my weirdness, that, my heart is black. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I've been online for so long that, there's nothing that you can say to me at this point. And so this is why I'm making this video. And just, I thought it'd be fun to really cover this good question that Becky Ray has. But yeah, not everybody finds vintage resellers weird, and many people appreciate the unique perspectives and the values that they bring to the marketplace. I am definitely one of those people. How about you? So you'll have to go watch my pick and trip over on my other channel. It's called Sonia Miller if you want to enjoy the journey of going through browsing the Goodwill shelves. There's a few other things I got as well, so you're going to have to go over there to see the entire haul. But sneak peek of something as well that I'm going to be flipping here on this channel for a good creative time. With that, I'm going to go find some supper. I hope this was definitely an educational and fun video. Tell me if you too identify as, and maybe be proud to be part of the weird, the unusual, the eclectic. If anything, I like to think I'm memorable, You'll always remember the weirdness we got into. So, you know what? Life is just too short to be boring and to not do the things that you love to do. So, I encourage you to do something that makes you happy today, because this is, say it with me, your life. You're beautiful, you're amazing, you're needed, and yeah, you just keep on shining because you make this world a better place. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.